thanks again for everybody that has joined us already. And you know what? I will begin with this webinar not from the products. However, this will be about the products. But I have a question, and you see the question in the slide that we all have projects as an engineer. Probably Paulus also has projects as a marketing guy. I am the marketing guy. As a salesman, as a purchasing manager, or a business owner, we all have challenges with those projects, right? So could you write, I know, I do not ask everybody to write your challenges or projects or whatever. Just shoot what you want into the chat about the project. And I will be very happy if I will be able to answer that and help that with the solutions that I have today in my slides. So going further, we all have the projects and we all have different projects. Uh, there's probably a chance of, I don't know, 95% of us that joined us this webinar that our projects are different. And the differences come from the sides like different vendor, different purchaser, different integrator, different place and time. And you know what? As we all have different challenges with those different projects, usually those different projects requires different solutions, right? And now today I present you four different solutions to your different projects and problems. So these four solutions comes to a wide variety of those different projects, from critical infrastructure to retail, from rural areas connectivity to global network. So if we have a project, let's say related to mission critical applications, high speed requirements, low latency requirements, then take RUTM52, the first router that I introduced you today, one of our latest 5G devices, which has a special offering of two two 5G modules inside, which will give you a possibility to double your cellular speeds. And what does that mean? What does double mean? Quite obvious, right? If in your place you get, or your client gets 50 megabit per sec, then with this device you will get up to 100 megabit per sec. If you get 300 megabits per sec, then it will double to 600. Quite simple, right? But what will happen with failover? Quite an easy answer. Seamless failover. If that's not enough, this product is equipped with two eSIM cards, whatever, virtual cards, which enables a possibility to have up to 14 different eSIM profiles. This device features GNSS for precise location tracking, Wi-Fi 5, and gigabit Ethernet ports. So you might wonder, what are those mission critical, high speed, and low latency required projects? Well, let's move to mission critical healthcare. Everybody knows that in healthcare, every second counts. That is why RT-M52 provides stable connectivity without downtime. Going further, due to its dual 5G module, it can easily stand as a main internet source for your small office, or let's say grocery stores, coffee shops. This device beats anyone when you install it in public safety vehicles like police cars, firefighters, ambulances, etc. And due to its low latency, your customers can enjoy live broadcasting without any pauses. If your project is an outdoor and located in rural areas, when your main challenges are, let's say, weak signal and harsh weather conditions, simply take our newest addition to our outdoor portfolio, OTD500. You might wonder why we have created this kind of device. We have our OTD140, right? So why did we create OTD500? Because we can see that from various reports, such as Berg Insight report and others, outdoor CPEs are projected to reach 5.7 million units this year, with a growth of something like 20% compared to 2023. So the market demand is growing and growing quite exponentially. So did we just created a plastic box with a module inside? For sure not. We have created a device equipped with two SIM cards with eSIM, consumer type eSIM, and it has PoE in, PoE out. It supports our operating system, RTOS, meaning hundreds of different protocols, hundreds of different features in this outdoor router. Furthermore, it has 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, and its certified IP rating is IP55, which is enough for something like 95% of applications. And what if this device comes with way more features than I need? What if it is more expensive than my project budget is? What if your project is very price sensitive? You only need stable internet connection and you have limited space, like in some kind of enclosures or boxes or whatever. Then think about small and simple solution, such as TRM200, which is perfect in point of sale systems, retail stores, grocery stores, coffee shops. Because it is a very simple device, it was created to provide stable and reliable internet source. Imagine that you have a project of equipping, I don't know, 1,000, 5,000, 500 vending machines. You just need to provide internet source for your computer or point of sale terminal, and that's it. Nothing more. Why should you pay for what you do not need? My answer would be don't. Just don't pay for that, what you do not need, and choose what you need exactly. Going further, this device is ideal not only for retail applications or payment point of sale systems, but we as a company have many inquiries about EV charging stations and the connection in it, connectivity in it. So what features, functions has this small and simple device? And the answer is here, basically a few. This device is a modem equipped with 4G LTE Cat 4 module inside, one SIM card slot, and micro USB interface. Quite simple, right? If we go to a project, and if we have a project which is in many different countries around the globe, and if your biggest problem or challenge is it about the global products and global connectivity issues, meaning that your devices, I know, should be shipped to different countries, different continents, regions, whatever. Take our latest product, RUTM54, another 5G router from Teltonika, which is equipped with Telit 5G global modem, 2 SIM cards, eSIM, and 5 gigabit Ethernet. It also has wireless interface like Wi-Fi 5, sturdy aluminum housing, and wide operating temperature range. A question comes to your head probably, where you could use it? What are the applications for it? My answer would be simple. Focus on what is global, and if you provide the end device for your customers, and this product is only a part of your solutions, then it can be, I know, smart farming, like agriculture. It can be retail applications or leisure activities such as camping, RVs. The main difference of this product comparing to others, such as RTM50, M51, RTX50, and others, is that it has the global module, which opens quite many doors in the global market. And now I will try to review just some of your uh, chat. I saw that in the chat there are many different uh, messages. Okay. Yeah, so Paulus, do we have any questions in the Q&A section?
Of course, we have some questions. And starting from the very first one from
Yeah.
Stratzek Boris, he asks if we have any IoT outdoor solutions with, for example, Amnify solutions. So I looked into what this Amnify word means,
Mhm.
and it is a company that provides eSIM services for customers. They also have like an eSIM in the for sale.
Yeah.
And to mention that is we have eSIMs already soldered in our devices. And if you buy our outdoor solution with OTD500, you will get an eSIM already pre-installed on the device. And you will also be able to upload the profiles by yourself, or you could use like our our outdoor antenna selections with enclosures for placing the devices inside that also have eSIMs either pre-installed already, or you can get them installed by custom demand.
Yeah, what's interesting, that something like 3 years ago, I had a webinar session with Amplify, like a partnership webinar introduction, uh, just a few years ago. Okay, let's move to another question. Um, I see that Lindsay is asking, is the RTM52 Emergency Services Network approved, ESN? Uh, do you know, Paulus, or we need to check it
Yeah,
out?
I managed to quickly Google it before
Hmm.
we came to Q&A section, and
Yeah.
ESN is for, as far as I understand, for a UK market specifically, and for usage in emergency vehicles, like um, the word I'm looking for is ambulances, police cars, fire trucks. And at the moment, no, this certification was not done for RUTM52.
Hmm.
However, this is a great opportunity for you to reach out to your sales manager and say that, hey, Teltonika sales manager specifically, and hey, we need this certification for use in this or that project. And this comes back to the very first slide. So introduce us with your project, and we will be able to help you to make that project succeed.
Okay. Uh, if we would go further, uh, we have a question from Brian Hunt. How about a unit suitable for use with digital signage screens with a concrete built hospital, meaning that the digital signage is inside the hospital, which has thick walls made out of concrete?
So to answer this question, what we would need to do first is to
Hmm.
add video output on our devices, which we currently do not have. We can be I'll say an add-on to a industrial computer or digital signage computer that can get internet from our devices. And to battle thick walls, you can use outdoor solutions with the aforementioned OTD500, or
Hmm.
putting our devices in outdoor enclosures where you pre-install our device and have it waterproofed or water resistant to provide connectivity from outside to the inside over a cable, which can penetrate walls quite more easily than mobile signals.
Yeah, I saw that something is weird with 5G. When I had 4G SIM card on my phone, I went to, let's say, shopping mall in my city, Kaunas. I went to something like almost an underground shop, and 4G works perfectly. With 5G, I have issues. I have signal issues. But I believe 5G as a technology will help much more. Maybe not much more, but will help in different situations where 4G is not enough. Okay, I see one commercial question from Lukas. When RTM52 and 54 and TRM200 will be shipped out to distributors? Um, M52 is already, I think, in our warehouse, and M54 TRM200 should be this year. I cannot promise, but they should be in our warehouse this year. But M52, for sure, you can take it out and then start selling.
Okay, then we have another question. What from Giuseppe Fonte? What is the difference with the global modem and I would guess the Route M52? So Route M54 will be a global modem. That means it will cover North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and most of it, and Australia. When we get certifications for all those countries, for some we have, for some we will get quite soon enough. And RUT M52, currently, this device will ship with uh, a EMEA focused modem. So it will be for some countries in South America, Africa, Europe, and Middle East, and some parts of Asia. So this is the difference.
Yeah, so basically, the M54 comes with a global module which states that it can be used in various different countries in various different bands. Uh, with M52, we start as most of our products with, let's say, European, Middle East, African bands combination. Uh, and in the future, I believe so that we will have maybe not a global version, but different versions for different regions.
Next question comes from Matei Gaidos, and he asks is, how is it when installing devices in vehicles, booting it up after engine start and shut down after engine turn off after some time? To answer this question, if you will check our wiki page and you search for ignition detection solution, I think the page is called, you will be able to find a guide on how to set it up. For this, we do not have like a on-the-spot solution. You will need to have two extra components, which are flyback relays, which are quite easy to install. And then with the output of the routers, which almost all of them have a digital output, you can control this relay and to say turn off the power after 20 minutes or something like that.
Okay, thanks, Paulus. Then we have a question, is the RUTM54 a dual modem device? The answer would be quite short. It's not. It has one 5G modem inside. However, RUTM52, the first device that I presented today, has two 5G modules inside. Then we have from Thomas, uh, does RTM52 support bonding, and are there any user settings regarding this? I need to use this for continuous with the streaming. Thanks. Paulus, could you answer?
Good question with an possible answer. Teltonika by itself does not have a bonding service available on Route M52. However, for this specific reason, we have a partner named Bondix. Our partner company, they have developed a solution where you install a package into our device that allows for you to do the bonding, and as well they give you a server to install in your own premises, or they can host it in your cloud, where then the streams from different modems would be combined into one, and then you
Mhm.
would have your seamless one connection for video streaming. So even if one link drops, you will only notice a very small delay.
Okay, perfect. About the firewall, can we answer the question?
A
Is
layer 7
Yeah.
firewall, or so are we adding layer 7 firewalls in our product portfolio? Um, on the current roadmap, I would say there is not such device in particular, as this would be something called a next generation firewall, which requires a new piece of hardware, which we do not yet have in development. But of course, as we are focusing more and more on security, I would not doubt that in maybe not next year, but year after that, we could have something like this in our portfolio, or at least thinking about it.
Okay, then we have a question. Does the RTM52 support cellular network providers here in Africa, particularly in Nigeria? I would guess yes, but you can find frequency ranges in our website. When you go to the product list, you can go to RTM52, and in the bottom you will see, I think, ordering section, and there you will find frequencies in which it works. So, but I would guess yes.
Yeah, it should work in Africa, as Africa does not have really any restrictions coming from devices that are meant for European countries, as they mostly use the same bands, except maybe some not very countries with some other problems with imports.
Yeah. Again, about working RTM52 working in different regions, we have a question about North and South America, M54, sorry. The question from Ben. The answer would be uh, yes. The main target for creating RTM54 was like focusing into North American market. But while it's a global device, it works in Europe and Africa and South America. So yeah, my answer would be yes. Before that, just check the frequency range or contact our sales manager, and they will help you for sure.
Yeah, the only issue with this device will be to get the right certifications for imports, and we can definitely do that. If you'll have a country that we're not yet covering, reach out to your sales manager and we'll help you with everything you need to get the device into that country.
Yeah.
I see as well from Binod Kumar. Is asking, will this device be available in India? And the answer is yes. We are India falls into what we call EMEA countries, and it will be possible to get this device in India for sure.
Okay, perfect. A question about the certification again, regarding the EMARC certification. Do we have it already for our newest devices?
I will not remember right now all four of them.
Mhm.
But eMark is something we are definitely looking into a lot of the devices, and I think for RUTM52 we were thinking about it. I will get back to this question after a few minutes when I will check the roadmap for certifications.
Hey,
Hello.
Marius.
Hi. Just lurking in the background, always eager to add a couple of comments. So while Paulus is checking, I would just like to mention that eMark certification usually, when our products are concerned, comes from an actual demand. And well, most of our products are compatible with the requirements of such certification. So it's really down to you, our users, our clients. If you have a need for a particular product to have eMark certification, it's best to contact your sales manager, just have a chat about the use case, about the potential of that. And eventually, if we see that one or another certification that is well, doable for us is required by several partners, we just do it. So please don't hesitate. If you don't currently have a Teltonika manager, if you're working with one of our channel partners, don't hesitate to contact them. We are very responsive in terms of these sort of requests, because as most of you appreciate, there are, well, dozens, if not hundreds, of different certifications that we could do, but they all eventually land in the price of the product. So we want to deliver you as competitive devices as possible. Therefore, we don't usually engage into certifying a device for every situation unless we really know that it's demanded by you guys. And while the mic is on, I saw a question which I could comment on a little. So Thomas is inquiring if we certify these devices already with RED 3.3 compliance. So if my information is correct, when we talk about RED 3.3, we're talking about EN18031. Which is projected to become an integral part of RED 3.3. So currently we are in, let's say, certification phase of certifying our software system RETOS for EN18031, which means that eventually we will start certifying our products with RED 3.3 in time. So we're currently at this stage. Everything is going to plan. And as you all know, this is inevitability, but currently these products are not certified by RED 3.3 with EN18031 in mind. So that's quite a lot of numbers for our listeners who perhaps have less exposure to these things. But the important message is that we know the requirements, we know when they're changing in advance, and we do what we need on the compliance side in advance also.
Okay, thanks. All right, one technical question from Zenon. Can the PoE on the 5G router power second 5G router so that both are running off single Ethernet externally? Is it possible?
The answer to that question is a yes. If we're talking about OTD500, and if the other 5G router supports active PoE. So OTD500 can be powered by active PoE on port 1, and using the second port you can power another device, and you will get up to 15 watts of available power to the next device that is connected to it. So this can be an access point, a camera, or other router.
Okay, perfect. About changing from 5G to 4G network, right? So let's assume that 5G signal disappears, and how our router acts. What does it do?
Um, it will automatically fall back to LTE network. So if 5G is no longer available, the router would negotiate with the tower for a 4G connection. And during that time, if you were in a standalone network and going back to 4G, it might result in a little disconnection. But if you're switching from a non-standalone 5G network to a 4G network, you will not even notice that you switched from 5G to 4G and back, as it happens seamlessly.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, then I saw a few other questions that were not transferred to our Q&A session. One of them was the new RUTs have eSIMs. Can I use 2 physical SIMs plus eSIM? The answer is yes. So what we have done is right now, for example, the device like RUTM54. So this one will have technically 3 SIM cards. One and 2 is the physical SIM cards with the slots, and the third one will be a SIM, and you can SIM switch between all of them. And this applies also to some other devices that only had, let's say, one SIM card. If we have added to it a SIM like Route241, so that will be able to switch between physical and eSIM using SIM switch.
Perfect explanation.
Could bonding happen between 2 SIM cards and eSIM? I would need to rephrase this question or maybe change it a little bit. Bonding happens between modems and not specifically SIM cards. So if we have a 2 modem device like RUTM52, so that device technically has, let's say, 2 separate SIM cards that are working at the same time. But if we switch to another device like RUTM54, which only has one modem, so if you switch to only one SIM card is active, so you can either use SIM1, SIM2, or eSIM, and you cannot bond them together. Let me see.
Okay. Regarding the eSIM configuration, Giuseppe is asking, how will be the eSIM configuration established on a mass rollout project? Any general approach or development is required? Marius, Paulus, any ideas?
Uh,
I could take this. Well, with our eSIM direction, we want eventually most of our devices coming out of the factory and landing into the hands of our channel partners and eventually the hands of our end users to have a very smooth experience to apply connectivity using eSIM. So we have our RUTOS ready for that. We will have our RMS ready for that. Eventually, they might even come with some bootstrap connectivity possible. This is the direction that we're going. But Giuseppe, when it comes to an actual project, when you have a bigger rollout, a more significant number of devices that you would like to be already provisioned with the profile that you want coming out of our factory, this is entirely possible. We can pre-install the profiles you need on the eSIMs in our factory. We just need to know that you need them. We just need some, information that's necessary to do that. But that's one of the values that we have and we treasure is the ability to really do a lot with our products coming straight out of the factory.
And I'd like to add one more little future thing for those who are in the webinar. RMS will also get mass management of eSIM profiles in some not very far away future.
Perfect. Bright future waits for us.
Yes. And with the bright future, the people need to know how those eSIM profiles are activated. So at the moment, to activate an eSIM profile, you need to do 3 things. You need to have internet connection while connected to the eSIM. That means you either have to have one profile already pre-installed, like a bootstrap profile or something else, or get internet from wired one or wireless one. Then you need to go to the web UI and paste in the eSIM code or add the QR code picture into the web UI, and the router will download and install this profile into your router.
Yeah, so you can basically write down the code or just paste in the QR code, right? And that's it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Technically, you need to paste in the QR code.
Okay.
Another question about eSIMs. They are quite popular, as I can see. There are tons of eSIM providers everywhere. Are there more APNs added in eSIM routers than in others? So the APN database is shared between all of the devices, and it is the same. And the providers that are providing eSIMs are usually the same providers who were providing the IoT SIM cards, M2M SIM cards before. So if they were established not yesterday and released SIM cards, most likely we will have the APN they are using in our APN database. If you will find some eSIM that says we do not have a profile that works, APN profile that works with that SIM card, inform us and we will add it to the list. And but this mostly applies to new APNs that were just released into the market.
Thanks, Paulus. And just to add to Ben's point, well, it's important to view eSIM as simply a SIM alternative. And us being on SGP22 standard, it means that
It means that
it's the most compatible available in the market. So yeah, you shouldn't have problems using any providers profiles, and the same APN practices would apply.
Then I saw another question from Tom in the chat, is how to deploy eSIMs if you do not have internet connection. So this is something of a drawback of the SGP22 generation of eSIMs that Marius mentioned, is that they need to download the profile from the internet, and for that you need internet connection for the first eSIM profile in your device. And this is where Marius also mentioned we are planning to have some bootstrap profile where the eSIM will have a profile in the device for you to download that first, not will have, but we are planning to have that first profile for you to download that first profile that you will use later on. And this is something we cannot really change as this is the description of the technology. Yeah. And for that, we need to update to SGP32, but that is still quite relatively new technology and it's still being rolled out everywhere. So we, of course, most likely will have it in the future, just not clear when.
Okay. And I think we can cover the last question. The last question is about outdoor solution and Wi-Fi. So any product like the OTD500, which will include Wi-Fi feature in the near future. I see that Marius wants to answer, or should I answer Marius?
I'm happy to. I'm actually pasting a product link to our listener. My advice for the 5G combination with Wi-Fi at the moment is to suggest our outdoor antenna, which would fit an RUTX50 or RUTM50, whichever you prefer. So obviously, with this kind of configuration, you get the mix of 5G and Wi-Fi. So yes, perhaps one more step of actually integrating this with an antenna, but then again, you get some benefits also because you're able to, choose the devices and this accessory off the shelf, place it wherever it works best for you, have Wi-Fi coverage, have 5G, 4G fallback. So all bases covered, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we do not have any more questions. Those that we have answered, we will upload to our website. We will upload the webinar recording. And thanks, Paulus, thanks, Marius, and thanks everybody for joining us.